All right, hey guys, welcome back. Another edition of Hey Guys. What could be better? All right, today I'm going to go through how to wire up a simple electrical circuit using a switch, two AA battery holder, a couple of AA batteries, an LED, and this, which is a potentiometer. A potentiometer is a type of variable resistor, a little bit different than a variable resistor, but what we're going to do with this is we're going to control the brightness of that LED. All right, so the first thing, I got a couple of extra wires here. Normally I'd rather use black and red because I'm doing a DC circuit, and that way I can keep all my wiring proper, but I didn't have any. So first thing I need to do is I need to strip off the ends of each of my wires. So these wire strippers here, you see they have all these little notches right here, and next to the notches are numbers. So those numbers correspond to wire gauge. It says right there, wire stripper AWG, American something gauge, wire gauge. So what we do, we're just trying to cut off the plastic part that's around the copper wire, okay, because we need to get to the copper wire because that's what's going to carry our electricity. Now, even though I know that this is like a 20 gauge wire, I have a tendency to start with a little bit lower numbers, so bigger wire size. These wire strippers aren't the greatest. That way I don't accidentally cut my wires. Now in this case, it did work pretty good in the 20-22 gauge. That's actually what these two wires are. I think the one in my hand right now is a 20 and the other one is a 22. So I'm stripping off maybe a centimeter, 1.5 centimeters, 15 millimeters, something like that. But that's what I want. I want some wire that is exposed so I can use that to connect my components with. So let me go ahead and do this one real quick. So go ahead and put that in that little notch, bite down on it. Now sometimes it helps if you with these kind of wire strippers, they're not the best, but they'll do. Sometimes you have to kind of pull to the side a little bit instead of straight back, but these are pretty new, so they're doing okay. All right, so I've got my wire stripped. Now, this is stranded wire, and so that means there's a whole bunch of individual smaller wires. So I like to just take and twist that wire together so that it is more like one piece of wire. And then now I've already stripped back some of the wire that is coming off of our battery case. So that's where we're going to start. So as I said, black wire traditionally is the negative side, and red wire, now this is too thin, so I definitely have to pull this to the side to get it to strip, and it did, just like that. So this, I don't know what gauge this is, maybe 28 gauge. Looks like I have enough on the red side. All right, so traditional DC circuit, get these batteries out of here. Traditional DC circuit, red wire is positive, black wire is negative. That's the way this battery case is wired up. So we're going to go with this red as positive. And the first place we're going to do is we're going to go to our switch. So we got just a simple little rocker switch here. It's a single pole, single throw switch. So it just has two connectors, and what's nice about it is it's got a little hole in the center. Now I don't really care which terminal I go to first, and I am just hooking these up. Normally I would solder these kind of connections, but I'm just doing this temporary. So I'm just going to put it through that hole and twist it up. Now I'm going to go with my yellow wire. I'm going to go through the hole of the other one, bring it back around, and twist that up. So you see kind of why I twisted that wire up, make it like it's one. All right. So got that. Got that connected. Make sure those don't touch each other. Now, on my potentiometer, let me get this ready. I've got 3 connectors. I got 1 in the middle and 2 on each side. So we're going to bring our power in to the middle. So I've already taken, see if you can see that, and I've bent those connectors over a little bit. What that's going to do is it's going to make it easier for me to connect my wires. So I'm going to put a little bend into the copper part of the wire. So see how it's in the middle of the copper part, not down at the very base by the insulator. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to hook that around that little tab right there. And I'm going to try to twist that around, that wire around a little bit. And then when I've got that twisted over, I'm just going to use my fingernail and push that little tab down. And that's going to hold on to that connector. Now, see how the wires are nice and neat there? That's what we're looking for. So again, I'm going to take my blue wire this time, make sure it's twisted up. Now, it doesn't matter whether I connect to the left side or the right side, but I've already bent up the left side. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with my yellow wire with my blue wire. I'm going to give it a little bend right in the middle of the wire part. I'm going to hook that over that little hook again, and I'm going to twist that up. When I get that twisted up, I'm going to push that little tab down again. Right? So that locks it in there pretty good. It doesn't fall off. Doesn't really work very well if it's going to fall off. All right, somewhere I lost my LED. Probably knocked it on the floor. That's all right, I got another one. All right, so LEDs stands for light emitting diode. They only let electricity flow in one direction. All right, so here's my little LED. It's going to light up blue, although really it's the color of the plastic doesn't really matter. It has to do with the gap on the inside. But you'll see if I'm showing you the legs, one leg is longer than the other. The longer leg is the positive leg. So I'm going to pull these legs just apart a little bit, and I recommend that you do this one at a time. Don't try to bend over both of them at the same time, because then you'll forget which is the long leg. So I'm going to put a little bend on my long leg. I'm going to take that. I'm going to put a little bend in this copper wire, just like I've done all the other ones. Right? So I've got kind of like 2 V hooks. Then I'm going to hook them together. I'm going to twist this wire around again. And then I'm going to push that leg of that LED back down, and that's going to connect them up pretty good. So that's connected to the positive side. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to take my black wire of my battery, twist that together, hook that around again, just like all the other connections, twist that up a couple of times, bend that leg tight. I've got a good connection there. All right, so now I got my circuit. Got my battery holder, got my potentiometer, got my switch, got my LED. All right, let me pop a couple batteries in there. All right, so batteries, the flat, smooth end is the negative end. The other end that's got the little pop out, that's the positive end. In battery holders, the negative end always goes against the spring. So put that in like that first. Negative end against the spring, slide that in. Let's see if we work. Look at that, we got light. Now, I should be able to turn this dial and adjust how bright that light is. And you can see that it works really good. All right, guys, thanks. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Hey Guys, how to use a potentiometer in a circuit.